Hey, Broncos country, what's up? It's the Mile High Viking coming to you, and I am so excited to have you back tonight for another epic episode of Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue. A lot of stuff happened today in Broncos country and in the Mile High City sports as well. We've got so much to chew through. It's going to be a good time. Glad you're joining us. This is the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast here on the Orange and Blue Network. Let's go!
Oh, so smooth, the stats to chew. Breaking down plays with the crew. Denver pride in every view. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Bright lights a mile high in our view. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. From draft picks to game reviews. Celebrating wins, analyzing the clues. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. With orange and blue, orange and blue.
Nothing wrong with Orange and Blue podcast.
What's up, Broncos country, and how you doing, Orange and Blue crew? Welcome to this edition of the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. I'm Johnny Baki, the Mile High Viking, and joining me as always, my cousin, my co-host, my childhood best friend, Jay, the Dreamweaver Weaver. What's up, cuz?
Yeah!
Oh, not a whole lot, sir. Just feeling the summer vibes. I can't believe football's already back. But kind of in a weird ipso facto way, first day of football. Like, are we back?
In a way.
Are we back, chat?
I mean,
super excited.
It feels good. It feels good to at least know that the guys are on the field. We don't have any news, and we'll talk about more about why that is. But we don't have any news out of OTAs for a reason. But to just know that they're on the field, they're starting to get they're starting to warm up. They're starting to get ready to kick it into high gear for another epic season. Man, it's good. It feels good. It's hard to believe it's already been 4 months since we saw the Broncos on the field.
Yeah, dude, that AFC Championship game to me feels like yesterday. Like I still feel like that run should be going on. But of course, I guess I'm kind of a homer in that regard. I still think the Nuggets should be playing. Still think the Avalanche should be playing.
We all do, cuz we all do. Yeah. At least true Denver sports fans do, right? Yeah. Like the fact that all three teams eliminated the way they were, it kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth, if I'm being honest. I felt I at least I know that I felt that there was going to be a parade this year in Denver.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting to have a really good team to talk about in an off-season sense. We haven't had very many of those, Johnny, so I still am very appreciative of the situation that we're in Broncos country, just being able to hey, we were, a half away from going to the Super Bowl. So things can't be that bad. There's tons of fan bases that wish they were in our position. So
I declare.
Plus we've got, spicy off-season moves. We've done a couple things. So I don't know, man. It's going to be a fun off-season overall and, just getting started.
So guys, thank you for joining us here on the Orange and Blue Network to watch an episode of Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. We are the Orange and Blue Network. We are a fan-led, built by the fans for the fans network that brings to you fun banter, Broncos and Denver sports talk as much as possible. We are a good group of people, and we thank you for being a part of that, really, very much so. But if you already aren't a part of that, if you're new here or if this is your first time, please, we ask that you subscribe, share, and comment. Make sure you find us on YouTube. We've just eclipsed over 700 subscribers, and we are marching towards that 1,000. So help us get there, y'all. Jump on over to YouTube, give us that sub. Also find us on X, find us on Facebook, and you can check out the audio version of every one of our podcasts wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Got to show some love to all the other content on this network. You guys, we've got so many awesome shows all throughout the week for you to catch. You got Orange and Blue Blitz. It has, it's going to be coming back soon. When it does, it'll be on Mondays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Of course, you got the Broncos Bros on Mondays at 7 p.m. You got us on Tuesday nights at 7:30 here on the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast, the OG. You got Doc and JT and Chris holding it down with Mile High Sports Symposium on Wednesdays at 2:30 in the afternoon. You got Broncos Talk on Wednesdays in the evening at 6. You got the Mile High Outcasts on Thursdays. And for the Spanish speakers, we got Viva Los Broncos on Fridays. We also have a breaking news podcast called The Fresh Squeeze. And when the season comes back, we have 3 different game day shows every single game day. So you guys don't want to miss any of that awesome content. Make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the awesome content. Also got to show some love to the sponsor of today's show, which would be Dubby Jitterless Energy Blend. Jay and I both swear by this stuff, and I swear once you try it, you will too. Dubby is an amazing stuff, amazing blend of energy to give you the kick in the butt you need to start your day and keep your day rolling the whole day through without the jitters or the crash later, because Dubby has no sugar. It also has no calories or maltodextrin, no fillers, no artificial colors. It's nothing but amino acids, B vitamins, nootropics, and the caffeine in it is derived directly from the coffee fruit. So it's as natural as it can possibly be, you guys. It's absolutely amazing stuff. I know you'll like it too. The link is in the bio below, but go on over to dubby.gg and get yourself some Dubby. And punch in code OBN10. That's OBN10. Gets you 10% off your order at checkout. Plus, it lets them know that we sent you. So, guys, I'm telling you, we know the Broncos are going to be rolling in the dubs this year, just like they were last year. Go get yourself a dub. All right. So, a lot happening today, Jay. It's been quite the day for Mile High Sports. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It has. There's been quite a few topics. Some were expected, some were not. I know that we'll get to some Avs talk here in a little bit, I'm sure. But a lot of news. We
can get that out of the way now if you want to. I don't care.
Okay. Well, I mean, dude, it's a sad day. It is and it isn't. Chris McFarland is now gone, going to be a Nashville Predator.
No longer the GM of the Avalanche.
Yeah, he's been the architect for, a while now of this team, have done a lot of, huge moves for this Avalanche club. And he's a huge reason why they won the cup. So it's a massive loss. I don't know if it's quite on the same stratosphere as the Tim Connolly exit from the Nuggets. I don't think it's going to be as influential. But we are, I think, in a similar pivot point in the franchise compared to, the two franchises here, because the Avs are kind of stale in the same sense as the Nuggets. And you needed to do something different and shake something, shake something apart. And, Chris McFarland is I guess the guy. Jared Bednar's going to return as head coach. A lot of people agree and disagree with that. And then
I agree with it. I mean, who are you? Who proven enough are you going to replace him with?
Sure. I mean, there isn't.
I've heard rumors of what's his name, the head coach over at DU, but again, just rumors. And again, he has no NHL experience.
No, he does. Yeah.
He's got 3 consecutive NCAA titles. He does have he did win gold with the Junior Olympics or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
But for Team USA, but again, no NHL experience. I don't know, and I haven't heard any other real names floated that would be, in my opinion, comparable or even, Well,
you look at the situation where this is a team that just had the most successful regular season in franchise history. We just got the President's Trophy, right? So, you can't really ask for a huge turnover in an offseason that you just accomplished that. Whatever happened in the playoffs, it is what it is. But it would be hard pressed for a team with that profile to change GMs as well as head coaches in one offseason, not including player movement. So it makes sense to kick the can down the road on Bednar. And this is my tinfoil hat, is The third piece of news that was announced in Avalanche land today here was Joe Sakic's taking the reins back for, temporary GM role while, McFarland's gone. And, Sakic has done that role already. He graduated to be president and McFarland was hired and all that. But the way it was phrased is that, Sakic is going to be a temporary fixture in that role. And eventually McFarland's, vacant role will be rehired. And so it is, peculiar to have a decision on a head coach at the same time as changing front offices in a GM sense.
Yeah, sure.
And, you can say this about any sport, like the head coach and the general manager need to be, on the same step. Like they need to be on the same page and they need to be on the same team. Those cannot be fragmented entities of your franchise.
Sure, absolutely.
So you can't hire a GM with the expectation of, well, you're not allowed to change anything to an outside GM. It's different if you have an internal role, some internal person on the Avalanche that might get hired, to be McFarland replacement. But if it's an outside guy, I think that's why Bednar's going to be on a 1-year deal, a lame duck contract of like, sure. It's a now win now situation for the Avs. So I'm kind of scared for the Avs because it's definitely shit or get off the pot time.
Sure.
How do you feel?
I mean, I loved it when Sakic was GM. McFarland was good. He was good. On to GM in the city that I live in and go to a lot of games for the Nashville Predators.
Good for you.
It'll be interesting to see what he does there. Because I'm a diehard Avs fan, but living in Nashville, I go to Predators games all the time, and when they're not playing the Avalanche, I'm screaming for the Predators. So it'll be good to see what McFarland can do there. Honestly, when it comes to what happened in the playoffs, I think it really just came down to, after such an insane, amazing season of just go, 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 I think the players were just tired. I think Bednar may have gotten outcoached some in that series against LGK, or LGK. Good Lord, VGK. My God, I mean, slap me, please. I think he might have gotten outcoached, at least defensively, in that series a bit. But I think what I really think it came down to was that the players, after the season that they had, they were just tired, man. Like, yeah, we saw the attrition starting to come up with injuries to McKinnon and injuries to Makar and all that. I mean, and I'm not going to sit here and say that the injuries to those two guys completely sealed our fate, because we still had Natchez and
Brock Nelson.
Gosh. Yeah, Brock Nelson and all those, and Nichushkin and all those guys, and of course the captain. You had Landy out there as well. So, but I mean, you could definitely see, in my opinion, that the attrition of the season, just such a hard-fought, insane, record-breaking season, I think it just finally caught up to them, and it just caught up to them at the worst possible time.
Yeah, there's something to be said about that, but it remains to be seen that, the matchup, if you will, of the physicality, that is necessary to win a cup, this team just doesn't have it. Whether it's Vegas or whether it's Dallas, they're all almost the same kind of team. And we falter really bad against those type of teams. And any team that's finesse and fast, we dominate. Hence why we dominated Minnesota. So it's a tough thing, and I don't think McFarland leaving, I don't think even Bednar getting fired really has no change in the players and the makeup of this team, and I think that's the issue for this team. So this is all great and fun, but at the end of the day, I'm really interested to see what move this team makes from a personnel standpoint, because Natchez did nothing in the playoffs. No, he didn't. Brock Nelson did nothing. Nichushkin, a complete ghost, nowhere to be found. So, those are the guys that really need to be under the spotlight, in my opinion, not Bednar.
Because they had those guys had phenomenal regular season.
Oh, regular season, heck yeah!
But they were, like you said, they were absolutely, phantasms in the playoffs. They were gone. They it's like they weren't even on the ice half the time. Nick Waugh did more than they did in the playoffs.
You're 100% right, man. You're 100% right.
Who would have seen that one coming? You know, I mean, I'm not going to have anything against Nick Waugh, but he definitely, like, I did not expect him to be out there outplaying, Natchez or Brock Nelson.
You could say the exact same thing about Jack Jury. Jack Jury outperformed all those players as well. And that's a problem. Like, that's not a good thing. That's great and all, but like not a good thing. So yeah, man, mixed feelings over the Avs. Like a lot of things to come, I feel like in that on that team. So a lot of future things to discuss, I feel like, because there'll be some player moves.
For sure. We'll get to Broncos here in just a second, but I just want to I'm going to find this tweet real quick that I think it's worth noting here on for Orange and Blue Network. I'm excited about it. I'm
excited to hear this tweet. Is this a hockey related tweet?
No, this is not. This is an Orange and Blue Network related tweet.
Okay.
All right, and so without further ado, I'm going to bring this up. That's you. Nope, not what I wanted to do. Hang on. Okay, here we go. I just want to give a shout out first and foremost to the one and only Mike Carmelini, great friend of the show, love him to death. He's doing big things over there on his channel, and of course, he's been rating Denver area sports media podcasts for years and years and years.
Hashtag the Podfather.
Yes, the Podfather. So want to put this out there. He said that he is now tracking 30 different Broncos YouTube shows, and he gave a list of some highlights and notes, and he threw in there that the Orange and Blue Network is now over 700 subscribers and top 20. You can see the list here. We are keeping. You can see us right here at number 20, Orange and Blue Network, right? And for when you see some of the names, some of the podcasts, some of the shows that we are keeping pace with, the names that we're out there with, to be rated in that way and to be in a part of that elite group for Orange and Blue Network, I'm just so proud and I'm so excited of all that we're accomplishing. And that's a shout out to every single show and every single host of on the Orange and Blue Network. You are all killing it, and I could not be more proud.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a really special community that we got, Broncos Country, on the social medias, if you will. A lot of really cool personalities, and I feel like for the most part, we all play nicely. We all play together, and we all support each other, and we're all not necessarily like we're competitive, but we're also like supportive of each other. I think that's a big deal in this day and age. So yeah, I mean, like Mike Camellini in and itself, like, dude, he's an amazing support entity for all of us. And I specifically really appreciate him, but man, there's so many great people out there doing so many great things in Broncos Country as far as Broncos, podcasting.
Yes, sir. I love it. Jay, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you seeing any comments yet on the show? I'm not, but I know that there's been an issue with some people on StreamYard lately with comments not coming up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I myself have had IT issues, and I have a brand new laptop. This is the maiden voyage on a brand new
maiden voyage. Yep. Wow.
So,
look at this guy.
All right. I've messed around with settings. It looks like I have a filter on, like a Snapchat filter, but I can't get it off. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you look beautiful as ever, cuz. Beautiful. Just plain beautiful. The self of dreams. That's why we call you the Dreamweaver. Anyway. All right. So time for some Broncos. Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. So OTAs started today. And Broncos Country is freaking the F out on Twitter, on X, about there being no news. Where's the news? Why isn't there any news? It's very simple. OTAs kicked off today, and media were not allowed anywhere near it. Yep. Period. Media will be in attendance on Thursday. I'm going to bring up another tweet here. This one from our good friend over at DNVR, Zach Stevens. Broncos held their first OTA practice of the year today. They'll be practicing today through Thursday. Next week will be the same. and then the following week will be mandatory mini camp. But really, what it comes down to, let me see here. I've got another one. Yeah, I had it here. Anyway, Cody Rourke also, talked about it here. So I had it here somewhere. There it is. Media will be in attendance for Thursday's practice. So if you're, for all those freaking out, sitting there, and I guess I didn't actually add the tweet to the to the screen, but there you go. For those freaking out, wondering why we haven't heard anything out of OTAs, that is why. Is that media have not been allowed anywhere near it. There's been no news given to the media about what went on in OTAs today. And so we will not learn anything new from OTAs until Thursday. So be patient and stop freaking out. That being said, OTAs is Bo Watch begins, right?
I thought you said go, Bo, go.
I mean, Johnny, let's be realistic. Are we even going to see Bo in the preseason, let alone like any sort of off-season program?
I think we'll see him in training camp.
Yeah.
He had the surgery to repair that ankle back in January, and they went back in April to do a cleanup on it, which a lot of people freaked out about that as well. And that's normal for that kind of an injury. Scar tissue, as you're healing, scar tissue builds up. It causes tightness. It causes irritation. And so, you go back in and with, laparoscopically, and you remove the scar tissue. You clean it up, so to speak. Think of it like, when you are, say, drywalling. I don't know if anybody watching has ever done drywalling, but there's always excess mud left over when you're drywalling. You get the sheetrock up and you mud it and all that, and then there's always excess, and you got to scrape that away so that it looks flush, it looks clean. That's what they did with his ankle. That's all they did. It's normal for that type of thing, and for that type of injury, for that type of surgery that he had. So they said initially he'd be back for OTAs. Then with the cleanup, they said he'd be back by training camp. So I mean, do you think that we won't see him even then, Jay?
I mean, I don't think there's any incentive to rush him along. I think he, in his competitive nature, will want to get out there, no matter what. I think it's really, unfortunate that at the same time as your quarterback being hampered in the offseason, we also have a brand new number one wide receiver. I really wish we could have had like lockstep, have every opportunity to build chemistry, to build timing, all those things. Because there is a big turnover in that, and that's a big timing thing specific to your, wide receiver one. So I think Bo will want to be out there, but, he's going to be hampered. He definitely will be. So we'll see a lot of Stidham.
But right there, what you just said about building that chemistry with your new number one, and make no mistake, I love Cortland Sutton, but Jalen Waddle in Denver is the number one. It's like that. He is the number one. Cortland Sutton's going to get his touches. He's going to get his opportunity still, but it's going to be like a Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders kind of thing. DT was the number one. Sanders was the number two.
Yeah,
pretty clear. For Peyton Manning's weapons, and you're going to see the same thing here. Jalen Waddle is the number one. Cortland Sutton is the number two, and you're going to see. But I think that's why you would want him to come out of at least some in training camp to start building some of that chemistry.
So, Johnny, I guess with all of this being said, I just want to park this conversation here real quick here, because I got a couple thoughts on just the, projection of where this wide receiver room will be as far as target share and just kind of where we're going with a brand new play caller. I think personally, and this is just a side note, we will see more tight end involvement with Evan Ingram, with Davis Webb, than we did Sean Payton. So in and itself, apples to apples, we will see less targets to maybe running backs and wide receivers because we'll get more to tight ends.
Sure.
There's that in and itself.
I do. I agree with you completely. I think we're going to get away from this. A lot of some. I think with Davis Webb making the play calling, doing the offensive play calling, you're going to see us get away from this outside zone that we tried this last season in a lot of ways. He might still incorporate some aspects of it, but I don't think it's going to be as exclusively outside zone as it was we did this last season. I don't think you'll get away from throwing it to the running backs because you have a running back out there who is, for all intents and purposes, has that skill set, and you don't just take away a weapon like that.
Yeah,
but I do agree. I think in a newer, with a newer play caller and all that, I think we'll see him try to utilize our tight ends a little bit more. We may see some other tight ends, some other stuff with some tight ends, maybe like a Caleb Lohner that we haven't seen yet, because we don't know what he redshirted his entire rookie season. We never saw him on the field, not once, and that's okay. We don't know what he's going to be capable of, but they did draft him for a reason. So who knows? We might actually see some new blood on the field with that position.
Well, and I guess I brought up the tight end just to say, in an overall sense, there will be less balls given to the wide receiver room in an overall sense, in my opinion, than there was last year.
It's possible. I mean, who knows? Who knows what we'll see? I think, honestly, it'd probably be more likely that in the beginning of the season, we'll see there's a hair hanging from the bill of my cap, and it is driving me absolutely insane.
Can't have it.
I hate that. It drives me nuts. Anyway, I think we'll see at the beginning of the season, we'll see wide receiver touches that are comparable to what we saw towards the end of last season. Because the first 4 games of a season are generally still finding your sea legs for that season.
Yeah.
And so I think you'll continue to kind of work to the strengths that you had. You know what I mean? And then
it's just
work into stuff.
It's hard to tell though, because you have a lot of different, I guess, elements going into this, beginning of the year. So typically if J.K. Dobbins was out, season-ending injury, maybe you would shy a little bit away from him to keep him a little fresher. He's coming off of a big injury, so you don't feed the rock as much in the beginning of the year. But you would say the opposite if that wasn't true and Bo Nix was coming off of a season-ending injury. And so you would, slow play the quarterback play in the beginning of the season and run the ball more. There's that. But at the same time, you have a brand new wide receiver 1. So, you kind of want to start getting highlights and start getting some, snaps and chemistry built up with him, plus the new play caller aspect. So it's very hard to tell exactly what's going to happen as far as the beginning of the year, I would say. But I guess I was coming back to say, like, my overarching thing here is that we might need to temper our expectations of the Waddle experience in the very beginning of the year.
Oh,
and I feel like Courtland Sutton is actually going to be the guy by a big margin at the very beginning of the year because of the timing issue with Bo, or the timing aspect that he doesn't have with Waddle, and sheer presence of Waddle is going to alleviate some of the pressure from coverage on Sutton. So Sutton's going to finally be like, oh my God, I actually have someone else that gains some attention. I don't have to be the number 1 wide receiver on this team, as he's been for the last 8 years. He has been. So we might see a resurgence of Courtland Sutton. We might be selling the Courtland Sutton effect of Waddle a little bit too little.
Maybe. Like I said, I think Bo will be back to start, throwing some passes in training camp. Because I know the procedure that they did to clean up that ankle. The recovery time, all that is nowhere near as bad as the initial injury. I personally don't foresee, unless he does something stupid, which he's a pretty smart feller. So I don't think he's going to do something dumb to screw it up either. So I personally don't see a universe where he's not out there throwing, slinging passes in training camp.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I hear what you're saying. And I do absolutely believe that the presence of Waddle will open up opportunities for Sutton. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because he's the one that teams are going to want to double cover, do double coverage because it's Jalen freaking Waddle, okay?
Absolutely.
But that being said, I do believe that there's going to be more Bo and Waddle chemistry built before the season starts than we might think.
Yeah.
We already know that they've been going out, they've been hanging out, they've been at least building a friendship chemistry, and that it seems to be going well as Cortland Sutton. Like the three of them have actually been like getting together and doing stuff. So they've already got that chemistry started. I believe they'll get out there. I believe they'll build some chemistry. So we might. What I think is we might see more of a, like you said, we might see more of a Cortland Sutton
beginning.
A Cortland Sutton focused beginning of the season. I think I would see a more of a 50-50 kind of split between the two of them at the beginning of the season, and then it'll arc, as the season goes on to start focusing on Waddle because of his breakneck speed, his ability to take the top off the defense, his route running tree. I mean, he's a monster, dude. So
and what's nice, Johnny, is that we're talking about this, and I truly believe that logic will take over and Davis Webb will actually do what we're talking about here, and we will highlight and feed, volume wise, those big mouths that we're talking about.
Yeah.
If we were still talking about Sean, calling plays, we say all this, John, and then game one, the end of the game, we're going to stare up at 12 targets for Troy Franklin and 8 targets for little Jordan Humphrey. And we're back to the same old crap of like, we've got our guys that we just love apparently, and we don't take advantage of the full aspect of Waddle, because I feel like I don't want Waddle to turn into a trick play guy and a guy that just gets some plays in the playbook.
Sure. But again, I can't fully see what you're saying there because it's not Sean Payton that's going to be making the play calls.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
It's no longer him. It's Davis Webb. I mean, I did say, earlier this offseason when it was announced that Sean Payton would finally give up the reins for offensive play calling to someone else, I did say he's still the head coach. And there may be moments where he goes, "Hey, Davis, step back for a second. I've got something. I got something up my sleeve. I want to try this. I want to do this."
He will.
And as the head coach, Davis Webb, all he can do is say, "Okay, I'm putting my clipboard in my pocket for him."
Yep. Dad said he's got this.
Yeah, Daddy spoke.
Yep.
So we're still going to see some Sean Payton play calling. And anybody who thinks it's going to be exclusively Davis Webb calling is delusional.
So you're telling me little Jordan Humphrey is still getting 5 targets a game?
No, I did not say that. And I would never say that. I don't want to say that. But I am just saying it will, while Davis Webb will be the one calling the plays more, and therefore, in my opinion, you won't see some of these, Troy Franklin being the bell cow. They're attempting to make Troy Franklin bell cow.
Yeah.
Especially when you got Jalen Waddle on the team, man. But I do believe you'll still see some Sean Payton play calls. Because he still is the offensive mastermind that is Sean Payton.
He is. That's why he's here.
Yeah. We got D-Rock in the house. First comments of the show. It's just a slow Tuesday night for the comments, and that's fine. But we got D-Rock coming in saying, "Bucky!" Says, "The Mile High Dreamweaver!" Love it. It's good to see you. Denver D-Mark, our boy Dak says, "What's good, NRWOB fellas?"
What up, Dak?
It's good to see you in the comments, my brother. I miss you. I love you, and I hope to get to talk to you soon. I haven't actually talked to Dak on the phone in like 2 months, dude. It's disgusting.
Shout out to Dak, one of Broncos country's best. He's just absolutely killing it. I mean, he is a Broncos celebrity. He's on the pole of trending up. So love Dak, man. He's a good guy.
We're all doing great. Everybody on the Orange and Blue Network is doing great things.
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. a really good guy.
Yep.
Anyway, gonna go ahead and get back to it, but continue with OTAs. So now that OTAs has started, again, we know nothing. We've had no news. No, we do know that there is that Nick Gargiulo, in addition to Bo Nix, is out injured for OTAs. He suffered an Achilles tear in the preseason last year, and apparently he still just is not quite back from that. He's our backup guard / center, a backup guard / center. As far as I've been able to see, I don't know if you've seen anything else, Jay, but those are the only two names that I've got on the injury list going into OTAs right now.
Yep.
Really? Is Bo and him?
Like, we will learn so much more on Thursday, where I feel like they're putting out the most minimal amount of information they possibly can today. So we're very in the dark on the first couple days here.
Absolute zero.
Yeah.
It wasn't minimalistic, Jay. It was absolute zero, bro. But
what?
We also got real quick. We also got our boy Tim Dog in the house too.
What up,
the Mile High Outcast? What's up, fellas? What's up, Tim? I love you, brother. I'm gonna see you later this week. Yeah, we're gonna get together. Me, you, George, for sure. We're getting together, so it's gonna be fun.
Jelly.
I know, man. I know. I'm excited. But anyway, but okay. So really, only Bo and Gargiulo are the only ones that I've seen that are out, at least as of right now. And so it's been that's at least some good news, in my opinion. At least as far as anything that we know.
Yep.
Is that most of our squad is coming back healthy. That being said, I'm going to flip the coin. We're talking. We're still talking OTAs here, but let's talk about the fact that we are probably the most intact roster in the NFL coming back from last season to this season.
Oh yeah,
or at least top three. I'd say at least top three in terms of maintaining the roster that we had last season.
Yeah, man, we virtually have no position battles. And that's usually like, top headlines of the offseason is like, all right, here's, the right guard battle. And, you got the incumbent, you got a rookie, and then you got a free agent. And we're just, who's going to win the job? And like, how's it cut up? And like, you go down this roster and you go down the depth chart, and there's really just not a whole lot of opportunities for, a outsider to make a huge impact, to be quite honest.
Not really.
Because we're pretty solidified in depth as well as top end.
Yes. Now, I will call out a name that I think has a chance to make the starting roster that has not been a starter yet on this team.
Okay.
And it's kind of one of those like, ooh, how do we feel about that kind of names? But Enyoma Owazurike.
Oh, interesting.
Because if you think about this just for a second, all right, Enyoma Owazurike. I mean, crying out loud, the guy's had a crazy start to his NFL career. Suspended for his entire rookie season for gambling.
He's a gambler
in college, and then he's been a rotational defensive lineman. But what happened this offseason? One of the only real departures that this team had was John Franklin Meyer.
Yep.
Which leaves it leaves Owazurike at that position, as well as the rookie that we just drafted, Tyler Onyedem, and Savion Jones in his second year.
Yep.
And you look at Enyoma Owazurike, he had a pretty on the rotation last season. I think he played like 30-40% of the season, something like 830 snaps or something like that, or 409 snaps on defense, 83 on special teams. 36%. He took 36% of the defensive snaps from last season. So he had, I would say, as far as the rotational players at that position, besides JFM, he had a pretty decent, cut up.
They like him a lot, obviously. I mean, if you start your career off with gambling problems and like the things that he was dealing with, and the team's loyal to you,
they keep you here.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
I mean, and like if you just look at his size, I I mean, this dude is a size mismatch on the defensive line. I mean, he's 6'6", 320. He's got
good name.
I think he's got arms that are like 36 inches, 37 inches long.
Yeah.
So I mean, someone of that size has a chance now with JFM gone. Him being really the only guy with any real experience. We saw Savion Jones for a mere handful of snaps last season. So Ennie is the only guy that had any real experience now at that position that is currently rostered here. So
that's a good one, man.
I think that's one of the only positions we'll see an actual like new starter at. But I think it's obviously because JFM's gone. But that's the name that I'd be looking for to making some kind of a splash.
I could see him having meaningful rotations, this season. And I feel like that's a fringe player that really could shine with high volume play here in the preseason and training camp and like the full spectrum of the off season here. And, we always have names that jump off the page during this time frame that, once we get in December, we don't necessarily hear their names, but like this is where those names are built. My name in, OTAs, training camp, the guy that might jump off the page on this offseason for me is Q Robinson. Q Robinson was touted last year from Nick Saban as the best special teams player he's ever seen, one of the highest motors he's ever seen. He got to play as a rookie. He got a jersey at probably one of our deepest positional groups, I would say, on the roster. And I think that's a big deal. So the guy, obviously, I think will play meaningful snaps in a special team sense because he's a beast on that. But I think Q Robinson has potential in this offseason to like solidify and make a name for himself, similar to Dontre Tillman has in years past here. Of like, we know that name now because you've made like some crazy preseason plays and you've built enough respect and gravitas to the staff that like he's gotten some regular season opportunities as well. So I think that's coming for Q Robinson this year.
And we're going to get back to this discussion in just a second because I mean D-Rock kind of asked the question as to what we were talking about, really. But I'm going to throw this one up there. Tim Dog coming back at you from the argument that began on his show when you guessed. We're a guest there. Dobbins will start, Jay.
Well, okay, so here we go, though. We're talking about positional groups that there aren't many on this roster that will have a potential big change of hand that will be, consequential in December. Jonah Coleman is that guy that could potentially be like the most important player on this offense come December. If the chips fall where they may and we have injuries like we normally do, like that's a guy preseason here, OTAs, training camp that like all of Broncos country should have their eye on because he's going to put up some highlights. Guarantee it, man. Jonah Coleman is my guy now. Like that is my official Damari Mathis replacement, Johnny.
We haven't even seen him yet.
It doesn't matter.
Seen him in orange and blue yet, guys.
It doesn't even matter though, man.
What's the name of the Raiders? What's the name of the Raiders' number one pick running back from last year? Because I can't even remember. That's how insignificant his season was.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Same things were said about him.
But dude, I'm telling you, so my whole persona and brand this next season here, I mean, it's going to be Go-Go Jonah. It's going to be Go-Go Jonah, Johnny. Okay, for all you Bible camp, vacation Bible study kids out there, let's go. Go-Go Jonah, a Broncos summer musical. Let's go.
Dude, you're freaking out there, man. I love you. No, I'm sorry. I'm with Tim. I'm with Tim Dog. I'm sorry.
Wrong.
Look. I do not. Again, this will be Davis Webb's first season calling plays. Right. I think for a rookie play caller, he's not gonna. He's gonna take some risks because he's got the players to do it. But I don't think he's going to take he's going to swing for the fences so hard that it may fall. And who in our running back room is truly proven? J.K. Dobbins. R.J. Harvey's right behind that, but he's only got one season under his belt. Jonah Coleman is going to be a beast. But again, haven't even seen him in orange and blue yet, cuz J.K. Dobbins will be the starter. Period. You go with the proven veteran who still has a lot in the tank. Yes, does he have some injury history? Absolutely. I'm not denying that. But the dude is the proven commodity. And the guy was on par for a 1,200-yard season before he got injured.
Top five running back.
Yeah, he was on, like, if you looked at the stats when he got injured and he continued the rest of the season, he was on par for a 1,200-yard season. Yeah, dude would have been an absolute beast. Is an absolute beast. I just don't think you sleep on that yet.
Sure.
So, I'm excited to see what Jonah brings to the team, and similar to what we talked about with the wide receiver room, right? Talked about how we're going to start the season. You think that it's going to be Cortland Sutton heavy at the beginning. I think it's going to be 50-50, and then it's eventually going to swing towards, Waddle being the guy and Sutton being the
when the dust settles.
Yeah, it very well could end up. J.K. Dobbins starts, and as the season carries along, suddenly we see some, like you said, a highlight reel worthy plays from Jonah Coleman, and eventually he slots in as the starter, in like a late mid-season game or something like that. But at the beginning of it all, it's J.K. Dobbins, bro.
Okay, so Johnny, I'm clipping this, and I'm gonna put you, backdrop. Go Jonah, go Jonah.
I mean,
it's happening, man.
You have fun with that. My kids have done that VBS, and it was fun.
Absolutely.
But I want Jonah to succeed. I'm not against it. I'm just not ready to crown him king yet. Okay. He is the boy. He is the boy that would be king. Yep. Okay. Right now, Simba. He's the boy that would be king. He is not. He has not yet pulled the sword out of the stone. Okay.
Yep.
So
Mufasa's not dead yet, but he's hanging on by his fingernails.
You really have to make reference to one of the most painful moments of our childhood watching that scene for the first time.
It's pretty rough stuff, man.
Yeah.
It is.
Now Tim Dog does throw this out there. Might need Coleman for blocking against the Rams.
Oh my God, dude. Myles Garrett, and I don't know if you have
I saw that Aaron Donald said that he might be willing to come out of retirement to get a chance to play alongside Myles Garrett.
They all love Matthew Stafford, man. That team is a team of destiny, and they're going to suck hardcore in 3-4 years here. I mean, they're still in the farm for these next couple of years, but they're all in, and they're
all in. Yeah, absolutely. So, I couldn't agree with Tim Dog's, take there. We know what Coleman can bring in pass blocking.
That's the Super Bowl.
That dude, will definitely be needed. At least, against the Rams. The Broncos had the number 1 pass rush last season. The Rams had the number 2. No, the Rams were number 3 or 4.
Verse is super good, so it's not like Cleveland. Yeah. I mean, Cleveland still got kind of destroyed in that trade, but still, both teams got good players.
On paper, Cleveland got some very good compensation. I mean, you got Verse, you got a first, a second, and a third over 3 consecutive years. Those are three premium round picks. It looks great on paper for them, but it is still Cleveland. I said it in the comments on Broncos Bros last night. I said Brown's going to Brown, and the best decision you can ever make when it comes to Browns is flush.
So, free up a lot of money to go spend to help Shedeur.
Yeah, I mean, oh, goodness.
It's happening.
Look, I loved Shedeur at CU, okay? But it's still Cleveland. Dude, they will find a way to screw it up. It's what they do.
Well, they are Jerry Jeudy in a nutshell.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy is quite literally the walking metaphor for the Cleveland Browns.
Yep. Off-season footwork videos.
So how about so we did talk a little bit outside the Broncos. We're going to get back to the Broncos, but we a little bit of other news. in the NFL. Obviously, we talked about Aaron Donald saying that he'd be willing to come out of retirement to play he might be willing to play alongside Aaron Donald and come out of retirement for that. But how about the arrest of Josh Jacobs up in Green Bay?
Yeah, that's too bad, man. Because, like, if you recall, Josh Jacobs had a really rough upbringing coming out of Alabama. Like, I want to say he was homeless and was living in a car for a long time. Yeah. So, like, he's been through it, man. So he was always a player I rooted for. I always respected his game. I honestly really wanted him to be a Bronco because he's absolutely destroyed the Broncos through the years for when he was on the Raiders, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I mean, turn the page, another fucking athlete that just not setting a great example for, I
don't know what it is, man, but fame and fortune, man. Fame and fortune corrupt. And
it is.
Every one of us wishes for the ability to want for nothing. But at the same time, man, when I see what it does to people and how, like, I mean, seriously, it's just depressing, man.
That's why, what is it? TLC has that lottery show of like showing all the lottery winners that are now like homeless and bankrupt and like just their lives are ruined for winning the lottery. I mean, there's something to be said about that. And yeah, man, Josh Jacobs seemingly was a good guy, but maybe we're wrong on that. I mean,
maybe he might be a good guy who made bad choices. That is possible too. But I mean, it's just one of those things. You see these terrible things happen, and it paints things. Certain people, it paints them with a brush. That. I don't know. It makes me sad, honestly. I'm not a Green Bay fan, but come on, man. You got it all. It all. Why screw it up?
Doesn't it give you a little bit of pause to reflect upon, like, wow, isn't it nice that we draft players with high integrity and we don't ever see, Bronco players with off-season headlines?
Really and that's the thing. And that's the thing is, like, Jay, me on a personal level, and that I hold integrity and character above everything else. How many times has somebody been like, yo, this dude's available, let's go get him? And I'm like, absolutely not. Because I do not want him in the Broncos locker room. Because he is not, he is a cancer to a locker room. He is this, he is that. I am a man where integrity and character mean far more to me than your ability to play ball.
Yeah.
Do I want you to go out there and play ball because that's what you're paid to do? Absolutely. But you better be a damn good human being while doing it.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. You're totally right. And there's, I think the only player that I've been willing to look past things on was George Pickens, in this offseason, just because he's a head case and he might be, a diva. But we got the mild version of that in Waddle, of like, we actually got a really good guy in Waddle. Like, Waddle actually forms right into our culture perfectly.
Yes.
It's never going to be a worry.
He's that guy, man.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. Jalen Waddle's character is apparent in everything that he does. He did amazing things for the community in Miami, and every one of his teammates has never had in college or in the pros a terrible thing to say about him. He stays out of the headlines. The only time you ever see his name mentioned is when it's football related. And
he's no Val Nichushkin.
Let's not go there. But I wish Nichushkin could stay out of the headlines the way he stayed out of the playoffs this year.
Yeah, stay out of the scorecard.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, bud. Ride the pine.
Yeah, ride the pine pony. But anyway, no, but again, I just wanted to bring that up because it honestly is one of those ones. Like, I expect to see names like Tyreek Hill in the headlines.
Sure.
I did not expect to see Josh Jacobs' name come up.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And so it honestly surprised me, and I just thought it was worth bringing up. Now back to the Broncos. So
can I bring up one other NFL noteworthy news that, kind of Bronco related, kind of not? Our boy, the gift that keeps on giving, Russell Wilson, is now going to be a CBS analyst. He is officially retired. He is done done with football, and now he moves on to being in the media. So obviously we're an AFC team. We are going to get CBS games. There will be an instance where Russell Wilson is covering the Broncos directly. Are we going to continue the spicy Sean versus Russ interaction from afar now that Russ has a microphone in front of his face all the time?
Honestly, I don't think so. Because say what you want about Russell Wilson and everything.
Oh, I'll say a lot.
I know you will, but say what you want about his ability to play the game when he was here, how it had diminished. The man for the most part is a man of integrity. And he's gone on the record saying a few things here and there, but he's never been a big mouth. At least not when it comes to talking about other people. And that's a big part of that is his faith. Because that's not the kind of person that he aspires to be. I don't think so. I don't know if you caught. I can't remember the name of the show he was on earlier this week. Oh, hey Bucky! Hi Bucky!
What up, dude? Welcome.
Aw,
yeah,
love that cat. Anyway, yeah, exactly, Bucky. I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you for your opinion on the show. Yep. But no, he was on a show this last week, right after he announced his retirement and everything. Maybe not right after, but he was on a show this last week, and he talked about his time in Denver, and he talked about it glowingly. To be honest, he just said it just wasn't the best fit, and he didn't go into nasty details. He didn't name drop. He didn't, slander anybody. He just talked about it. He's like, this happened. I came in here. It was exciting. We actually got onto a win streak at one point, and we thought we were going places, and then it just kind of coasted, and it just turned out to be not a great fit. He was like, I was super excited when Sean Payton came, and but ultimately we just weren't compatible on the field, and I moved on to other things, and he moved on to Bo Nix, and he's like, and I love Bo Nix. He's like, I keep in contact with Bo Nix. I talk to Bo. And he's like, and I'm rooting for Bo. And I was sitting here going, man, that's class. That's class. So if that's how he's going to be on a show that isn't nationally televised, it's a big show. It was a big show. I still can't remember the name of which one it was. But if that's how he's going to be on there, I don't think he's going to be going on national TV as a commentator saying, being all spicy about it. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. He's the most political football player I think I've ever listened to in an interview. So, for him to not be diplomatic in a national TV sense, I mean, that's why he was hired. It's because he is the poster child for, saying the political right thing, always, being the role model, the glowing example, don't never have to worry about him.
Yeah.
But I think it is very strange to sit back and think about, he is literally out of the league the same year his dead money for his contract ran out.
That is a good point.
Is that not crazy to think about? In that right when the Walton Penner Group came on, their first order of business, they paid Russ.
Yeah.
And we, at that point in history, thought Russ was, the bee's knees. And for him to not even have an NFL job now is kind of wild to really think about.
But again, I don't think it correlates. I don't think it has anything to do with that fact. He was, even if he'd retired, he was still going to get paid under that dead money contract.
Someone would have paid him.
Yeah, I mean, we would have if he had retired last year instead of giving it his all in wherever the hell he was. Where was it? New York last season.
Yeah.
If he had retired before he went to New York and was still out of the league, his dead money contract with the Broncos would still be getting paid to him because it's a contract that was signed. You can't get out of it. So I don't think it correlates. I don't think it's like, oh well, my dead cat money's gone, so I'll go ahead and retire now. It doesn't matter. I just think he finally admitted, Father Time caught up. I'm not Mr. Unlimited anymore. I'm not unlimited at all. I'm barely fair to middling at this point. It's time to hang up my cleats. Maybe before I do something stupid like go play for the Jets like Brett Favre did and put a couple of really forgettable, truly forgettable seasons under my belt and only be remembered as that guy at the end.
Yeah.
So that's what I think it is. Tim Dog does say here, network won't allow it, but I get what you're saying, Jay. If you remember, Tony Romo's first broadcast was a Dallas game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, Russ can be very annoying, and I think the general public will feed into, give him a chance. Like, in the very beginning of Tony Romo, everybody was all about him. Oh, he's picking play, he's predicting plays. It's, he's the new thing. And I just feel like his act is going to wear out real quick in a national sense.
That very well could be. I mean, let's be honest. I'll say this about Tony Romo. I hate watching his broadcasts almost as much as I hate watching Chris Collinsworth. But
the slide.
Yeah. But one thing that Tony Romo did do well was diagnose plays. Before, he was very good at being able to, affirm to the media masses live on television what they were doing. Yep. He would, his understanding of the game was very, very awesome on there. But just like you said, I don't think anybody really loves Tony Romo. Any team. He definitely has biases, just like Chris Collinsworth, and you can hear them when he broadcasts. But beyond that, nobody really likes to listen to him. Nobody likes to listen. Yeah, here's a guy. Shut up, Chris. But I digress. We got one last bit of big Broncos news that came out today, and that's the title topic of the show today. PS2 getting paid. How about this, guys? I mean, and this is different. We hear about contracts and contract extensions all the time. This is different. This is unprecedented. This is something that doesn't happen, honestly, barely at all in the NFL. I'm going to bring up the tweet here from Ian Rappaport. The Denver Broncos have agreed on a contract adjustment, giving him a $5 million raise now, with a chance to make $5 million more next season if he gets a Pro Bowl or All-Pro nod. So, I mean, you in the first year of Surtain's record, 4-year, $96 million extension. So, what does this mean? Why? I'm sorry, one moment here. This is, there's the tweet. I'm sorry about that. What does this mean? What happened here was not a contract extension. It was not a new deal done. This was the Broncos looking at a player who has been the face of the franchise, looking at a player who has been, since he's been in the league, a household name, and has continued to put up big numbers and do it in a huge way for this team. This is them rewarding him. It's not something that gets done in the NFL very often at all. I think the last time the Broncos did it, it was 2019 with Chris Harris. When they gave Strap a $4 million raise. But really what?
They did just do it to Cortland Sutton. Okay. What was it? Two off seasons ago.
Okay.
Before his extension. Just tied him over.
What is that? Chris Harris Jr. in 2019, Cortland Sutton in 2024?
4, yep.
And now PS2 in 2026. It's been done by the organization 3 times over the last 7 years.
Yeah.
So, what this means, this is truly them telling him how much they appreciate him. This is not, hey, let's extend the contract, let's sign a new contract. No, it's like, hey, we're going to go ahead and toss an extra 5 onto your existing contract. That's huge. And it sets in my opinion, it sets a precedent for other players on this team to perform. What do you think, Jay?
Oh, I think it's an absolute, obviously it benefits PS2, but it benefits the persona and perception of our franchise. Walter Penners are not cheap. They're willing to pay. They're willing to reward players who are loyal. And we could not necessarily say the same thing about Joe Ellis and the board, as they were always tabbed as cheap and having, same with Elway, having to win the deal and always get a little, team-friendly deal. Walter Penner's...
PS2 did take a team-friendly deal when he signed his new contract.
But this is the Walter Penner's showing PS2, and more importantly, showing the rest of the league, including potential free agents into the future, that we're willing to take care of you if you take care of us. It is a two-way street. We didn't have to give you more money, but we did because we know that that's the right thing to do. You're the premier player on this team. Like you said, it's the face of the franchise. And what perfect player to be the, example of how to treat your best player. And that goes a long way in, team morale to show that we're taking care of our best.
Because there's plenty of teams out there, the Dallas Cowboys, who don't take care of their best players.
Yep.
They
100%.
just, they're like, you got a contract, deal with it.
Yep.
And the thing is, from what I read, what Mike Kliss reported, shout out Mike, good friend of the show. What Mike Kliss from 9 News reported is that, PS2 didn't ask for this.
Yep.
This was not him and his agent. Now his agent did get it done with the Broncos, but they did not reach out to the front office and say, hey, we need an extra $5 million on his contract this season. This was brought to his agent by the team.
Yeah.
And or by the front office saying, hey, we want to reward him. And so, again, it sets the example for other teams. Now, whether they follow that example is to be seen. Doubtful, honestly, that many will. But it does set in my opinion, a positive precedent going into, going forward for this team. Because like you said, it does show those that are already here. One, you said free agent, possible future contracts. But it also shows the guys that are already here. The dudes that are like, I don't even know if I'll have a job on the Broncos next season, But they look at this and they go, oh man, but if I do my job and I do it well, I could, they might toss me a bone too. So it looks good to people on the outside who may have a future interest in being here, but for those that are already here, it gives them a boon, something to shoot for, something to strive for, something to aspire to.
Yeah.
And so that's huge. That the value of that. We when they gave him this this raise, when they gave him this raise, we had about $27 million in salary cap left. That takes us down to 22. Giving him this bonus takes us down to about 22.3, 22.4, somewhere around there. And that's nothing to slouch at. I think they're wanting to save most of that to roll over to next season because we're going to have a bigger outgoing this next season.
Yeah, the Bo extension is coming.
Yeah, it is. He's in the third year of his rookie contract now.
Yeah,
but but the value of what this raise says to the organization, says to the players, says to the NFL, is worth way more than that $5 million they could have saved in cap.
Yeah.
So it's a huge thing. He's very deserving, and he went on. He had his charity had some event today, I believe, and he was interviewed. He granted an interview there, and he was asked if he would have held out had a bigger contract not been given, and he literally said, "No way, he would have been out there regardless."
Well, it's not, dude. What's also wild to this is that he hasn't stepped foot on the field on his new contract. We gave him more money before he even played a down on his actual new contract. So, that's so crazy it's one thing being 2 years into a 5-year deal and you outperformed the deal, the franchise will give you something. But he got extra money before he even got into the contract.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
And the charity that I was talking about, I don't know, I can't remember the actual name of his foundation. The Pat Surtain II Foundation. The thing where he was today doing this, it was the inaugural Top Golf Challenge with PS2, where he granted this interview. He also said, "I told myself I want to be a Bronco forever."
Yeah,
and I mean, and again, how can you not see that given what they just did for him? Like that's he sees that and he's like, well, there could be teams out there interested in me in the future, but will they treat me as well as this team? Probably not. And knowing that, I want to stay here, even if it means I make a little less money or something like that, So again, the value of the action is worth way more than the money that went into it.
Yep.
So
it's a big deal. It really is. It's a huge deal. And, wouldn't you agree that like this franchise has shown now a propensity to take care of their own internally, get guys extended before they're due, truly be earnest in business and do the right things.
Yes.
The only person that they have not taken care of, in my opinion, is JFM.
Yeah.
But he had been vocal for a long time that he wasn't being taken care of. But I think it had been known to him for a long time that he was not going to be part of the wave, of people getting money. Like,
look, for whatever reason, his play on the field was great. His play on the field was fantastic. So it tells me that something else had to be going on behind the scenes. Something in the locker room, something with the coaching staff, something with the front office, but he rubbed someone the wrong way, and he just was not part of the long-term plan of this team.
And in my opinion, we're having the exact same scenario happening right now on this team this year with none other but than Marvin Mims. It's the exact same situation where, like, man, if they were going to pay you,
they would have.
You'd be paid. Like the writing's on the wall for you, bud. And they just traded for a guy that's in your room in the offseason.
Now, I still would love to see him stay on this team for his special teams play.
Yeah, but
I honestly think he's going to be part of a post June 1 trade package.
I totally think so as well. I think he's gone. I don't know if he plays it down as a Denver Bronco this year. And if he does,
I hate that. I mean, I really do. Bo's rookie season, that catch against Cleveland that went 90 yards for a touchdown. It was one of the most beautiful, honestly, one of the most beautiful passes, pass and catch in Broncos history, in my opinion. Top 10.
Yep.
For sure.
Well, and he had that miraculous come down with the ball in the end zone versus Cincinnati, if you recall.
Yes. But again, his play, he has been underutilized on the field because we kind of realized that he was a gadget wide receiver.
Yep.
And Sean Payton just wasn't wanting to do a whole lot of gadget play.
Yeah.
And so we hadn't seen as much Marvin Mims as a lot of us wanted to, and as a result, his trajectory has gone down. But I honestly believe probably it's another situation of he may have rubbed somebody on the someone of importance on this team the wrong way. It just wasn't things aren't going well in the back behind the scenes. George comes in saying, "What's going on, my brothers? Walmart money getting put in the right places." Yes, sir. That's why I'm so glad I do my shopping there.
Absolutely. Got to support the team.
Again, I say it every time we talk about Walmart money. It makes my heart so happy whenever I'm walking through Walmart and I see a Chiefs fan or a Raiders fan in their gear walking towards me. And I'm like, hey, thanks for supporting the Broncos. And they look at me like, what? I'm like, think about it.
Correct.
But anyway, I digress. My wife also popping in saying, hi, so happy to see you boys back at the Bronco podcast. Yeah, baby. We had our first show back a couple weeks ago. Couldn't go last week for certain reasons, but the long hiatus that we took for my own medical reasons. Okay. I missed this. I missed you, Jay. I missed doing this together. I missed all of this. And being back, if I don't have to miss a show, I don't want to miss a show anymore. I'm done with that.
Dude, you missed a perfect Borat, my wife.
My wife. Yes, I did miss that. Although I would not say the same thing about my wife that he did about his. This my wife.
Yes.
My wife is not a boring person. Ask anybody who's hung around me, my wife. You can ask Jay, who's my cousin. You can ask Tim Dog. You can ask George, Bronco Libre, all those guys. Is Barbara a boring person? Hell no.
Nope.
Fire, man. Tim Dog coming in. Welcome back, fellas. Oh, man. I much love, brother, and I appreciate all that you've been doing for Orange and Blue Network, bud. Like, for real. I don't. I'm gonna give you a call later because we haven't talked in like a week, and that's weird. We usually talk like 2-3 times a week. But anyway, Jay, we've talked PS2, we've talked OTAs, we've talked Avalanche. Is there any other pressing topics you'd like to discuss about our teams tonight?
I mean, not necessarily. I think you should probably bring up the aspect of meeting a second team all NBA point guard that I hope he doesn't listen to me because he probably wouldn't have been as nice to you because I've been calling for his transaction, his pink slip in Mile High Basketball Nation here. But go ahead, Johnny.
Well, hang on. I'm waiting for this photo to buffer real quick. And funny enough, I was actually wearing the same shirt I'm wearing now when this happened.
So there you go. It's your lucky shirt.
Right?
Don't take it off.
Give me 1 second here. I'm going to bring this up. So the other day...
hold on real quick. As you're buffering into that, I do want to throw some love out to... And we already foreshadowed your name earlier, Mike, but Mike Carmelini in the house. Like, share, and subscribe. Always appreciate the support, Mike. Very much.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Mike Carmelini is a true class act. A great friend of the show. We love Mike, and I'm going to work, Mike. I part of the reason I texted you earlier. I'm going to work on having you come back on the show, and I got to talk to you about the fact that I haven't been invited back yet for another Denver Broncos media battle. So we got to talk, man. I'm kidding. Sort of.
He's coming in hot. He's got quite the guest list. I will say his recent episode with DMAC.
It was awesome.
Was like some of the best podcasts I think I've ever listened to. He was on a roll. I love DMAC so much.
Oh yeah, DMAC is awesome, man. And like, if I got the chance to actually appear on the Denver Bronco media battle against DMAC, I'd lose my mind.
Yeah,
I would also lose the battle like that. But it'd be. He says he just deducted 2 points from me already.
Damn it!
All right, well, I'm going to get you back on Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue in an attempt to get my 2 points back, Mike.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so to tell the story of what happened just a couple days ago. It was a couple days ago, I believe, that was it Sunday? I want to say it was Sunday. I'm visiting I'm here in Colorado helping my parents. There's a need for it, and so I'm here, and I'm visiting from out of town, but it's still my kids' summer vacation. So I've taken them to I took them to do something fun on Sunday. I took them to Lava Island in Englewood, and there's a couple of those locations around the Denver area. They don't sponsor the show, but still I'll give them a shout out. Lava Island is a really cool place. If you want to take your kids, it's enormous. It's literally a full-size trampoline park on one side and a full-size play place, 3-story play place on the other side. It's huge. They've got a snack bar, and they even have like a whole toddler area too. It's awesome for kids. So I took my kids there on Sunday, and we've been there, and it's cheap too. I got to throw that out there for the parents out there. It's not that expensive. $24 a kid gets you all day play. Like you literally the kids get a wristband and they can stay there. You could go it open and stay till close for $24 a kid.
Stuff.
That's pretty incredible. So I'm sitting there, like I've been hanging out with my kids. It was really hot over by the trampoline park area, and I was like, I told my wife, I'm gonna go sit down over there, drink a soda, cool off for a few minutes. And I'm sitting over at this table, and I've got a cold drink in front of me. And I'm scrolling through Twitter and just checking some stuff. I think at the time, actually, I just opened up the Cardinals game because I was, I'm a Cardinals fan for baseball. It's the only Colorado team, the only non-Colorado team that I support, or that I'm a true fan of. And I'm watching my game, and I look up, and I see this big crowd of people and like a giant horseshoe in front of me. And I'm like, what the heck is going on over there? And all of a sudden, this dude just stands up. He bent over, probably shaking a kid's hand or something. And I look and I'm like, holy crap, that's Jamal Murray. So I rushed over there, man, and like a fangirl, I ran up to him and I'm like, and he was already, like, him and the security guy were already waving people off for photos. I was wearing my veteran hat, which I think is probably the only reason he gave me the time of day, because I like held up my phone and I was like, please, man, I'm a huge fan, just one photo. And he was like, yeah, come on. And so he grabbed my phone, never washed my phone again. Jamal Murray touched it.
Yep, absolutely.
And he held it out and he took a selfie for me. I asked him, any chance I could get you an interview on my podcast? And he goes, nah, man. And then he shook my hand and he took off. He'd been there for a child's birthday party. But it was just one of those like moments where I'm like, I am visiting Denver. I'm from out of town. And what are the odds that at like a kids play place, kind of place, I would run into one of my favorite basketball players of all time.
Yep.
So it was just such a cool moment.
Dude.
It was a cool moment, and I couldn't get the interview. I tried, guys. I really tried. But
dude, he's like the most crusty athlete to media folk in Colorado sports by quite a margin, almost more crusty than Prime.
Sean Payton.
I guess Sean Payton likes some media members. I guess the local media.
He just doesn't like talking to the media as a whole.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, well,
I don't want to talk.
Kay Adams. I mean, couple of cappuccinos or espressos and. He's going, but yeah, dude, that's
well.
sick,
I mean,
man.
at least we're not, at least it's not Diana Rossini, right? Oh, too soon. What a Vrabel joke. Anyway,
as AJ Brown actually does get traded to the Patriots, like the prophet has been fulfilled now. Now Rossini can move on to the next coach.
Right. Good Lord. Oh my God. Yeah, well, we hadn't had a chance to make a Rossini Vrabel joke on this show yet.
Absolutely,
so it was past time.
Start the count. We're at 1.
Yeah, we're at 1. But anyway, it was a really cool experience just getting to run into Jamal Murray like that. Definitely unexpected, and I don't know, man. Like, it's kind of the highlight of my trip here.
Pretty badass.
So. I loved your response to my text message when I sent you the picture. You're like, no way, what? It was cool. So, anyway.
Not playing Canada. He told Canada to kick rocks. That's pretty interesting, actually, for how big of a nationalist he is. Like, he loves Canada. So I was kind of surprised that he declined to participate. And he's
all right. Well, so let me ask you. I know we're at 1 hour 23 minutes. We're going to get ready to roll it out. But since we're on the subject, and you already brought it up a little bit ago, calling for his pink slip. I mean, like, what do you think the Nuggets are going to do in this offseason, Jay? I mean, obviously Jokic stays. There's no doubt about that. That's off the table. Anybody who thinks that they'd even consider trading Joker is out of their damn mind. But what do you think happens? I mean, who do you think is there anyone in the starting 5 that you think they roll it back with? And if not, who is in and who's leaving?
Aaron Gordon's not going anywhere, even though that's the easy answer, but you're getting nothing for him. That would be literally basically just a salary dump, which is stupid at this juncture of our championship window. I am floored to hear and read that there is actual validity to the report that Christian Brown is legitly being shopped. I saw the Chicago Bulls were interested.
Yep.
But after he signed his massive extension, he's making so much money. That's pretty much an untradeable contract, I thought. So if we can move off of him, that changes everything, because then you don't have to trade Cam Johnson and you can bring back P-Watt and all as well. I think Cam Johnson is probably gone realistically. I don't think CB will probably go anywhere because of the contract. So I think for sure Cam Johnson gone. I think somehow, some way, Zeke Najee's contract is going to get offloaded.
That needed to happen last season.
That's needed to happen for a long, long time. But we don't have any trade assets to, send with it, because we have to send an asset with that contract for somebody to take it, because it's such a terrible contract. So I think the most likely scenario is that the big three are back. Cam Johnson gone, Peyton Watson in. They're not really any better than they were last year. I think it's pretty much a run it back. Because I think
so the
Hardaway
big three,
Jr.
You think AG, Jokic, and Murray all back?
Yep, unfortunately, even though I personally, if it were me, I would blow it up, and I would trade Jamal and find. But
okay, see, because I'm the opposite. Maybe it's just because I'm so nostalgic. I just met the guy. I don't know, but the best 2-man game in the NBA is Murray and Jokic.
Yes, but I mean, they have done it for so long that the defensive book is out on it that it is not any sort of strategic surprise whatsoever to anyone anymore. And basically, if a team doesn't allow the Jokic Murray pick and roll game to beat you, we can't beat anyone. Like, that has been the biggest weapon and the biggest detriment to this team. So then
let me ask you this. If you got your way and pink slip Jamal Murray, send him off. Yep. He just had his first All-Star season, so there's a team out there that would bite on a trade for him.
He's making a hell of a lot of money as well. Same thing.
Maybe.
Like, it's a rough contract.
He is one of the best point guards in the game.
He's a max.
He's an asset. So that being said, if you were able to accomplish that, who would you bring in to supplement, and how?
So I would get a more traditional actual point guard. Jamal Murray is not a traditional point guard. Jamal Murray is a shooting guard. He's a 2 that loves to run around, and he plays great pick and roll with Jokic because Jokic is the point guard, right? But I want a traditional point guard to run the offense, and I want to supplement, what Jokic does as a point guard with a legit point guard. It was really interesting back in the day to watch Faduko Campazzo. I don't know if you remember him.
I remember him.
He was a legit point guard that actually was a distributor. And it was cool to watch him work with Jokic. So I want to get an actual real point guard, but it's not going to be a superstar. You'll trade Jamal for a Evan Mobley, for a wing, for a 4, for another big to replace what Aaron Gordon's supposed to be, but Aaron Gordon's unmovable, but we need to have his role solidified as that dunker role. So we'll take a huge step back in a backcourt sense, but we'll take a massive step forward in flexibility of the roster, as well as, front court or backcourt defense. And that's what desperately needs to change is backcourt defense, because Jokic is not a rim protector. We don't have one in the starting lineup.
No, and that is exactly how the Timberwolves were able to handle us.
Yeah, they just drove to the lane every single time.
I hated Jaden McDaniel's stupid fat mouth, but he was absolutely right when he said they don't have anyone that can defend the rim.
He's 100% right. And that
he's a dick about it. He's a dick about it, but he wasn't wrong. About that aspect. He was. We got to solve
that aspect. That's a major, and absolutely. The only way to solve that, unfortunately, is to disperse assets and get rid of Jamal and get some flexibility to make moves.
I guess we'll see what happens, because as Tim Dog says right here, and this is going to be the last comments of our show tonight. He says Jamal won't go anywhere without a Joker sign off.
Not wrong.
And I absolutely agree. Joker runs that team. He is a player coach. He is a player coach, general manager, right there on the court. Nothing happens on that team, on that court, on that bench without Joker, having his hands in it and signing off on it.
Yep.
Because he is that player, and you only get one of those players. As a team, you only get one of those players once in a generation. So you don't mess with that. So I agree with Tim Dog there. And then he does say, good show, fellas. Thanks, Tim. Love you, buddy.
Appreciate
and we'll talk soon. So thanks, guys. Is there anything else, Jay? Any final thoughts?
Nope. That's all
I don't either. I've brain dumped, and I'm ready to get my kids to bed. So that being said, guys, thank you for joining us for this edition of the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast. We are so glad to be back. Still, it's second show in a couple of weeks. We are still so glad to be back with you, and we can't wait to continue to roll it forward with you this entire off season. And I cannot wait for this season to start, guys. This has been fun. Make sure that if you haven't already, that you like, subscribe, share, and comment. Find us on YouTube and give us that sub. We're on the march to 1,000. When we reach 1,000, we're doing a giveaway. Don't know what it is yet, and I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but we're going to figure it out. At 1,000, you have my word, there will be a giveaway done by the Orange and Blue Network. So help us get there and be part of that the opportunity for that giveaway. Find us on X as well. Find us on Facebook, and check out the audio version of the podcasts wherever you find your favorites. And don't forget to check out all the other awesome content that we boast all week long here on the Orange and Blue Network. It's all good stuff, all great takes, and great freaking hosts. Above and beyond everything else, I would stand by every single host that we have on this network. You'll love every one of them, and they're all true. They're all real. They're all true. They're the people. So, guys, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next week. Don't forget to catch our Wednesday shows tomorrow, Mile High Sports Symposium, and the Broncos Talk tomorrow evening, plus the Mile High Outcast on Thursday, Viva Los Broncos on Friday, and the Broncos Bros on Monday. We love you guys. We will see you next Tuesday. Barring any other crazy developments in our lives, we will be here, and so I hope you'll be here too. With that said, I'm Johnny Baki, the Mile High Viking, with my cousin Jay, the Denver Dreamweaver. Have a great night, everybody, and go Broncos.
Go Jonah, RB1.
Oh, God.
Orange and blue, we're here for you. Talking Broncos all day through. No stopping us, we're on the loose. Come join the crew, no bad news. Podcast vibes so fresh and true. Nothing rhymes with orange and blue. Catching up on all that we knew. Hit play, let the episodes accrue. Nothing rhymes with